say, Mark was just sitting here talking about, the offense not being necessarily pretty, but the shot you took in 135 to go to the pull up three, that was almost the same spot, same moment in the game as Wednesday. This is a shot we've talked about with you all year. I guess what is that like for that shot to be available at the end of a game, even considering what the offense looked like?
Um, I mean, for me, it wasn't that complicated. It's just, I'm out there hooping, clock's winding down. I work on my game all summer. I work on situations all summer to get shots off, to make tough shots. Um, the NBA is full of best athletes in the world, best basketball players in the world, best schemes in the world, and so you're not going to be able to get a clean look every time. And I try to be one of those guys for my team. It takes and makes tough shots, and because of my work, that one went in. Now I'll make some, I'll miss some. I'm gonna continue to trust my work.
You guys shot 3 free throws entering the fourth quarter. You end the fourth with 13 in the quarter. Just what changed?
We were in bonus. Well, they fouled us, so we were in bonus early. But I think we just turned it up a little bit, pace wise. We were driving. I think the stint was like me and AJ were in the game. AJ gets in the paint really well. He had a few fouls drawn. And then every foul adds up. And then once you're in bonus, the team is a little bit less aggressive defensively. You're able to get in the paint, less reaching, you know what I mean? So just the way the game played out. But we turned it up pace-wise for sure.
Shai, the whole second half was basically played within 2 possessions on the scoreboard. Anything you noticed from your teammates, yourself as a leader, just how you guys maintained kind of poise and made sure they didn't go on any big runs during the course of that second half?
Yeah, we stayed with it. This is like the second night in a row where the game obviously hasn't been as fluid up offensively as we like. But we stuck with it. We know that if we get stops, we give ourselves a chance. And that's what the last 2 nights have been. We haven't been our prettiest, our best. We haven't been clicking offensively. And that's going to happen. It's a long season, ups and downs, makes and misses. But the things we can control, our energy, our effort, our focus, our connectedness defensively. We've done that late in the last 2 games, and it's the reason why we've had 2 Ws.
Well, first off, bro, the swag is crazy, by the way. Appreciate it. I have to say it real quick.
Appreciate it.
Just talking about you, bro, like, I can't escape it. Like, every time, I talk to a top prospect, they bring you up. AJ Devon said, projected #1 pick. After his last game, he was like, I'm on the Shai wave, shoulder bump wave, right? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to ask you who you watch, bro, because honestly, I can legitimately say you don't play like anybody. You're 1-on-1. So for you, who did you really watch, bro? Because you do a lot of stuff that I think that is your trade. It's not really someone else's.
Yeah, a lot of my game has just been feel and growing up. I had the ball in my hands really young. I wasn't that good early, but I always had the ball in my hands. And I was taught how to play really well. So that foundation, and then being smaller growing up, I had to really figure out how to score and play using angles. And then my game has just rounded out through work and picking spots that I can get to and trying to be able to make shots from those spots. And then just being confident from there. So I honestly can't pick a guy I've honed down and said, I want my game to be like that. I've just gone with the flow. Whatever's worked for me is worked for me, and then I try to build on it. Yeah. But I've tried to watch Kobe. Obviously it's hard to emulate the stuff he does. AI a little bit. Those 2 guys, I would say I've tried to watch the most. But at the end of the day, it's whatever works for me, whatever feels comfortable, and whatever flows from my game.
Shai, to build on that, Mark's talked a bunch of times about your poise and kind of emotional maturity with handling ups and downs. How did you nurture that as a skill through the years?
Funny enough, when I was growing up, I used to be like hot-headed. You guys probably wouldn't guess that, but I used to be like a quick triggered kid, like temper-wise. And wouldn't say I really like got in trouble, but like it could have led to trouble. And I worked on it growing up and like really at a really pivotal point in my career, like right before you hit adulthood. So like probably at the right time. And then I think it just like transferred. Like it's life, basketball. A lot of them are the same things. Like you're gonna go through ups and downs. But trying to stay even keeled and level headed to make the right decision for the situation is probably best for 100% of us. So that's like the approach I take, and I learned it through life, and then basketball and life go hand in hand.
Kind of took the pain away from you guys for a little bit. What was it that you felt that allowed you guys to get back to your bread and butter?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know what they threw out there in the fourth quarter, but it looked like it was almost a boxing one, but it wasn't. It was like random. Yeah, they did a really good job of like, they stifled us for sure for a little bit. The ball got sticky. But yeah, we just like stuck with our principles. Like when it gets like that, when they're super loaded, like if I had the ball on the side, there was like a triangle behind it. You just try to move the ball, you try to play fast, play aggressive, try to get downhill, and I think that's what we did. We did enough of it to pull out a W, but we could definitely be better in that area, for sure.
Mark mentioned that. Sorry, here. Mark mentioned that he was very complimentary in saying that you obviously are a great player, but that he doesn't believe that you are a complete player just yet. What are some of the ways in which you challenge yourself, and what are some of the things that you think you need to be that complete player?
My decision making could be better. My physicality defensively could be better. My focus off ball defensively could be better. My shot making could be better. My deep paint decisions could be better. Yeah. I could play off the catch better, like without the basketball. There's probably more areas, but I like to I'm really self-critical, so like I'm never really satisfied with where I am, no matter what it looks like. There's so much room to improve. I agree with Coach. I'm not close to what I think I'm gonna be and can be, and that's a little bit exciting, and that's why I work so hard. I'm excited to see what I become.
Is that a bit of the Kobe mentality?
You can call it that. I was always taught like it's never like when you settle and you're like satisfied is when you get complacent, and is when I was younger, guys that aren't better than you catch up and are better than you, and ultimately when you just don't get better. So for me, it's not about the outcome. It's not about how many shots I made. It's not about what the night turned into. It's about my development as a player. And it's the same thing for the team. As long as I'm getting better and we are getting better as a group, we'll end up eventually where we want to be one day. And I think that's why, as a group, we've grown to what we are so fast, because we've had that mentality.
Shai, Mark always talks about, vet guys, stars in this league. Have you seen all the pictures? Do you feel like you've seen all the pictures? And if not, I guess.
One more time, sorry?
Yeah, Mark just always talks about veteran, star players haven't seen all the pictures, all the coverages.
They have or haven't?
They have.
Okay.
Do you feel like you've seen all the pictures in this league, or do you feel like you're some ways away? Where do you feel like you are?
I've seen everything, I think. Like defensively,
Everything.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen everything. Now, guys are so creative and smart. I'm sure coaches and players will figure out different things defensively and tactically on both ends of the ball for me to see something new. But I feel like I can check all the boxes in the things I've seen as a player. I think so.
You said you were a quick trigger kid
Uh-huh.
growing up. I guess, was there a moment that made you change that?
I can't remember completely the context, but it's in high school, and I had like flipped out over nothing. And I talked to my coach, my high school coach at the time, Zach Farrell, and he like explained to me like bigger picture. And I don't know why, but it like really clicked, and I guess I would say that's a moment I tried to like really turn it around.
Shai, you talk about a lot.
This will be the last one.
Shai, you talk about a lot about getting better and never really settling, and always progressing. Like, what keeps you driven? What keeps you focused to always want to get better? Like, what motivates you?
My wife, my son, my family. They've sacrificed so much for me to be where I am today, and I would be doing them a disservice if I didn't work as hard as I do to be the best that I can. And then, genuinely, my curiosity to see how good of a basketball player I can become. As well as myself, I've sacrificed a lot growing up to get to where I am, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. But I would be doing myself as well a disservice if I didn't work hard and give this game my all. Now, where I'll end up, I'll never know. I'll find out one day. But yeah, it's my job and my duty to give it all I have, and then wherever the chips lie, they lie.
What did you notice about the fourth quarter, just being able to string together the stops that you did?
Well, we rebounded better, which was good. Just finding different ways to stick to the game plan and just be solid. I think we did a good job not fouling down the stretch, and yeah. All right, appreciate it. Good stuff.
Just wanted to get your take on a few different points of the game. The Shai three out top, and then the other one that kind of stood out to me was Isaiah had gone. I think Isaiah Joe
The one
had
off
gone
the
like
curl.
0 for 6 from three, and you guys continue to feed him. Just maybe the faith that both those guys had and that you all had in them to knock down those shots.
Well, they both have a lot of confidence. Shai has extreme confidence, so and he's hit big shots his whole career, so that's just something we kind of expect him to do. And then Zay again shoots the ball very well, and the reason we keep throwing it to him is because down the stretch he'll hit a big shot. So and he did that tonight. And they also are able to do so many other things on the floor, and we trust them with that moment. It's something that they both work on, those shots, and when we can get them those shots, that's what we want to shoot. That's how our offense flows.
First off, it's cool seeing your progression, bro, every year. But just wanted to ask you, especially in this NBA, there's a lot of teams focusing on the three, but you are really good in the mid-range. You got to 2 spots, like back-to-back possessions, same bucket, same spot. How can you talk to, players and kids out there in terms of getting to the mid-range, something that's a lost art during this time, and, getting to that spot and how effective it can still be?
Yeah, I think for me, I don't really go to the free throw line a lot, so a lot of that was predicated on trying to get other shots. That's an aspect of my game I'm still trying to figure out. So it's just somewhere where I got comfortable. I think whenever you perfect any shot, no matter statistically, you can be really good at it, and that's just something that I kind of found myself within our offense being at a lot. So I was like, I might as well get good at shooting it. And I know it's not really analytically, it's probably not the best shot, but for me it is.
But in the finals, when you look at it, I know I talked to a lot of coaches about it. They say all the best teams have a mid-range assassin on their team.
Yeah.
So when you see that, do you tell yourself all right, shoot, the mid-range is working for me, but also when it comes down to getting to the last dance, in the finals, mid-range is going to be there for me.
Yeah, that's how I approach it. I think a lot of my game too this year has been shooting a lot more of the open threes, and that's been like opening up the mid range. But yeah, it's just something I work on. Something where, like I said, like the way our offense is somewhere where I'm like ending up a lot, and something that I've tried to like perfect over time and figure out different ways to get to those spots. And this year I've been shooting a lot more on the right side of the floor. Just kind of how teams are guarding me and understanding that. But it's definitely available a lot, and when you can perfect it, you have some like the greatest scorers or 3-level scorers. So
It seemed like your team is just real chill and relaxed. And you talk about y'all ability to play together and just win. Y'all right now, y'all are the number one team defensively.
I think, well, defensively we trust each other to kind of cover up for any mistakes we do have, and we try and play solid. Over the course, like our bigs being hurt before Hart, we've tried to just kind of be scrappy and then not lose that when he gets back, and I thought we've done a good job of that. And then just as far as like a team, we just bond. I think whenever you have like such a genuine connection throughout the team, I think it's really easy to want to cover for each other and want to play together, and it's something that just happens naturally. It's not like we're going out there and that's like our focus, just kind of how our group is. And we're so young, everybody's kind of grown up throughout their career with each other, so there's like kind of built-in trust.
You've talked about this in the past, but I wonder now that this has kind of been the theme for Mark to talk about the free throw rate this year. Like, how do you view your whistle? As much as you can, say.
It's an aspect of my game I'm trying to figure out. The way I play basketball, I try not to leave it in the officials' hands. When I'm playing, I'm not really worried about that. I've kind of learned I don't really shoot a lot anyway, so I've learned how to score 20 a game without it. And then whenever they come, it'll be a big night, but a lot of it is just predicated on still being good enough to get where I want to get to. I think that kind of goes back to your question originally, was just being able to get to the mid-range kind of alleviates, leaving it up to if I got fouled or not. And then, obviously I said shooting more threes has been good. But yeah, it's an aspect of my game I work on. They're going to miss calls. They're human. They're going to make good calls. So it's just one of those things where if they call it, they call it. They don't, they don't.
Jalen, Mark's talked a lot about Shai. I mean, obviously he's been a tremendous player for a while now, but noticing growth in his leadership this season, in what ways have you seen him as a teammate?
He's always led by example. Ever since I've been here, he's allowed me work out with him. I think that sped my progression up as a player. And two, I think he's just more vocal. I think he's just more comfortable with our team and kind of understands that that's kind of what we need, just being him. But a lot of it is just, he plays defense. He kind of does anything that he asks us to do, he would also do. So it's kind of just one of those things where he's a good leader by example and kind of has everybody fall in line that way. But he's been more vocal with us too.
Mark mentioned scoring late with the point differential being a factor in the NBA Cup, being a locker room thing.
Yeah, that three definitely shocked me in the corner.
Is that a weird thing for you guys?
Yeah, I heard the bench yelling, "Shoot it!" I was going to pull it back out. So that's new. Yeah, we didn't think about that at all. I think Shai even held the ball after the rebound too, while we had an advantage. So it's kind of like one of those unwritten rules. You try and play the right way and not shoot at the end when you have a lead and the other team's not trying to foul. But yeah, we got to work on that.
We'll go last one, Kurt, right here.
You talked about the evolution of this team kind of growing together. Last season, when you run into a team like the Lakers, you kind of could struggle with the physicality they brought. But tonight, that wasn't the case. You were the more physical team. What's evolved and changed with you guys on that front?
Well, right now, Isaiah Hart. I didn't have to jump ball tonight, so that was nice. I think just having some bigs back has helped us, and then I think, like you said, we're growing through the experiences together. So a lot of times, when they've been physical with us, it's one of those things that we try and remember and keep that feeling. So when we do play them again, we kind of know what to expect, and it's kind of like a maturity thing. So not letting the other team hit you first, and also being willing to kind of fight back and be physical too.
Second half was basically played within a 2-possession score.
Yeah.
What did you notice just throughout that time in huddles or on the floor about the poise and composure of your team?
Again, I think we just kind of grinded it out. I think we could have still been a lot better, just detail-wise. I think they did a good job of just loading up on Shai. I think us as a team, we have to do a little bit better job of getting him the space, not being so stagnant. But I think it was another good game, kind of like last game where we kind of grinded it out. And I think that kind of says a lot about our team is that, again, what you said, we stay poised, we keep grinding it out, we never get too far ahead of ourselves, and we just kind of go possession by possession.
Isaiah, you missed a lot of the games where Shai was kind of experimenting with that pull-up three, the three-point volume. Just seeing it now 2 straight games for him to have that shot available late and to drill it. I guess what is that like for you for your point of view of what that does for this offense?
It's big time. I mean, I think just having that as another weapon, I think it's been big. I mean, both games he hit big shots at the end. So just having that in his arsenal, I think is going to be big for us in those later games. So like it's been big.
First off, the long sleeve is hard, bro.
Appreciate it, my guys.
Wanted to ask you, for you, being, kind of new to the team, I would say, but you playing on a Zoom delay, also being a playmaker out of that too as well, finding open cutters and showcasing your playmaking ability.
Yeah.
How has Mark been, allowing you to do that, and also Shai and Jay and Isaiah, because you guys seem like you guys are still on the same page, even though you haven't been together as long.
I mean, Mark's been great. I mean, he's giving me a lot of freedom to kind of play my game, and that's been great. But just all the guys, I mean, it goes from Dub, Shai, Zay. I mean, the whole team is just so unselfish. And I think when you have, especially stars that are unselfish, it just makes the game really easy. And I think that was coming in, I didn't know it that much, but how good actually Shai can pass the ball. I don't think he forces anything. A lot of games he gets doubled, makes the easy pass out. And so just having both stars, Dub and Shai, being unselfish, but then also defensively, I don't think I've really seen it that much that both stars are so locked in defensively. That's been great.
Did you expect to have the ball in your hands the way you did? I mean, you have had it. Like, I'm saying, this early too as well.
Yeah.
Expected,
Kinda. I mean, I kind of saw how they played. I kind of know how much attention is on Dub and Shai, and I think Mark has a lot of confidence in me in just making the right play. I mean, I think I'm one of the best connectors in the NBA. So I think just him putting me in those situations, I'm just here to make Dub's life easier, Shai's life easier, and so that's my mindset every game is just getting them easy buckets.
Marcus talked about the space you create for guys like Shai and Isaiah, and how well you do it. It's kind of an art too.
Yeah.
Like, what is the key to creating that space for those guys on those screens without getting fouled?
I mean, studying. I think. You don't want to play on a lot of teams in your career, but I've done it. And so I think just playing with a lot of different guys helped me a lot. I mean, back then you don't really get what's going on and like why you have to go through it. But now just playing with different guys like James, Jalen Brunson, Dante. With the Clippers, it was Luke Kennard. So playing with different guys kind of gives you a better feel of how to get certain guys open. Like I'm not going into the game trying to get Zay the same way open as I am Shai. So it's just kind of you just have to adjust to each player. And I think it's just timing, knowing first of all what your defender's doing, knowing what their defender is doing. So just it's kind of you're playing a game of chess with it. And so yeah.
And defensively against AD, kind of slowed him down from everything he likes to do. What was the key in that match?
Yeah, I mean, just being physical. I mean, I've played against him a lot, and so just knowing kind of what he likes to do. I mean, he's a great player in the NBA. He's been playing great this year, so I just wanted to make it as uncomfortable as possible. He's going to make shots, but that was my biggest thing coming into it, trying to make him uncomfortable, forcing him into shots he doesn't want to take, and yeah.
Isaiah, obviously, you're really strong on the glass on both ends of the floor, but when you see guys like Kaysen and Lou and Shai flying for those sort of offensive boards, just what's going through your mind as a big man?
That's great. I mean, I got 3 guys trying to box me out, fouling me most of the time, but I get it. No, they've been big. I mean, just those guards doing the little things. I mean, sometimes it doesn't show up on the box score, but I feel like all of our guards have done a great job. Even when I was out, I mean, just being scrappy. I mean, even when Chet was out, we had Dub at the 5. Just kind of seeing how scrappy they all were, and I think they do a lot of great things for us. So.
Isaiah, Mark, it feels like he adds time to this every time he says this, but most recently he said that it felt like you've been with the team for like 3 years.
Yeah.
I guess why do you feel like it's been so easy to sort of integrate yourself with this team?
I mean, they play the right way. I mean, I feel like the stars play the right way, and then everyone else just plays the right way. I think it starts all with Shai and Dub, and then I feel like we all are very unselfish, and I think that makes it easy to come in and just fit right in. I'm a very unselfish player, and so they make my life really easy.
When you say the stars play the right way, I guess I imagine you have in mind like
Shai and Dub.
yeah, but like I imagine you're thinking of a different way of playing. Like there's not like a not right way of playing. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
what does it look like?
some guys. Some guys. Be honest, they play selfishly. I mean, there's some guys in the league that just kind of play more for themselves and don't play for the team. But they don't. They're very team focused, and I think that's what makes us great. I mean, if you see on the offense end, but then I think especially defensively how they don't take plays off. I think a lot of NBA stars kind of take a lot of plays off defensively, but they don't, and so I feel like that makes them very unselfish.
Thank you, Isaiah.
Mark, I know this has been a theme for the season. You even touched on it before the game, but the free throw disparity, you seem to be having conversations about that throughout the game. What did you see tonight? And I guess what was there tonight relative to the theme of this season?
Well, you go into every game planning for the strengths of your opponent, and they've shot 1,000 more free throws than their opponents the last 2 years, and they're on track for another big differential this season. And we knew that if it ended up being that wide, it was going to be very hard to win. I was worried at halftime about it, but in the second half, our guys kept attacking, played with force, and the whistle came around for us, which was good to see, and it didn't create the type of gap that the Lakers are used to creating.
And Shai, the three he hit with about 135 to go. It's almost the same shot, same stakes, same everything as the shot he hit Wednesday. We talked endlessly about him trying to add that shot. I guess, what did you see tonight that made that more available? And I guess, what is it like seeing that shot, I guess, available late game?
Well, he's worked hard on it, and he's got confidence in it. He's obviously stepped into a couple big ones there, but tonight was another offensive struggle, for both teams, obviously, but certainly for us. And it's similar to last season where, we got off to a good start last season. Teams started to scheme and throw different things at us. And the first time through that you see those things can be challenging, but you'd rather see them in November and December than wait to see them later in the year, because it allows you to calibrate, it allows you to work on those things. And so they were really heavy in their gaps tonight. They switched everything, and it was disruptive to us, but we made enough plays on both ends of the floor, obviously, to get a win.
I want to ask you about the poise of the team, because it just seemed like it was a very consistent thing throughout the course of the game, but didn't know if you noticed any maybe individual moments throughout the night or in the huddles or anything like that that spoke to that.
Yeah, great temperament again tonight. I thought that was a strength the other night in San Francisco, and it was the same tonight. Just a steady energy by the team through the ups and downs of the game. I thought we had a couple chances to bust the game open, and they kept coming back. And then once we opened up like 5-4 3-point lead in the fourth, I thought the guys focused defensively really took us to another level. I thought the defense in the fourth quarter and down the stretch was outstanding, and that's what won us the game.
Mark, we've seen so many Shai games where he's driving the basket and scoring efficiently, but what do you think is his secret sauce in being able to master that night in and night out?
Well, I mean, it's his teammates deserve some credit for that with the way that we space and the way that we cut and the way we try to move the defense and the way that we roll out of pick and rolls and stuff like that. And then, I mean, he has a unique ability to play in tight space. He's got unbelievable skill with the ball. He's got unbelievable feet, and he's got an unbelievable knack for leveraging the defense's advantage against them. With his change of direction, his spins, and he's just an amazing. He's got an amazing skill there. So he had some big ones tonight. We were able to finally kind of move him in the fourth quarter a little bit, get him and everybody else some cracks. But yeah, he's got an elite skill, obviously.
Last season against a team like the Lakers, you could struggle with the physicality that they would bring. Tonight, you arguably were the more physical team. You get Isaiah, obviously, but is it more than that? What's changed for you guys?
It's more than that. It's collective. I thought our physicality on the perimeter with closeouts, pressuring, those guys can make shots, obviously. Reeves connect. LeBron James is shooting the ball crazy. And so to play them tight and then to chest the next move is a physicality on the perimeter, which the guys have done a great job of all year. And then you can't not acknowledge Isaiah Hartenstein. He's able to play Davis head up. We can provide a little bit of help, whereas in the past that would be a matchup where we would be very reactive and we would send bodies to him, and that puts you in rotation and it gets you out of sorts on the glass. And so he was a huge factor in our ability to do that tonight. For us to out-rebound that team, I don't know if we out-rebound them, but we had more offensive rebounds than they did by about double, is impressive, both ends of the floor. So that's a team thing.
Mark, the steal and slam by J-Dub late, what did you see on that play and just the way that your team was kind of primed and ready for that moment?
Yeah, great situational awareness by the guys, great execution of what we were trying to get done before the ball came in bounds. Great alertness. We were the first team ready on that play, took away the first option with the scheme, and then, they had to throw the ball there, and Dub made a break on it.
They kind of took the pain away from you guys for a little bit. What was it that allowed you guys to kind of get back to that and get your offense going?
I thought you're exactly right. They were extremely aggressive in their help, especially in the initial gaps, one pass away. I mean, they were just leaving perimeter players. And then they did a good job once we moved it out of there when we did, of kind of solving the puzzle from there. And then I thought in the fourth we did a good job of moving them around a little bit more and getting some dual-sided action where it was harder to do that. And the guys made quick decisions. I just thought our overall pace in the second half in the half court was much better than it was in the first. I thought we kind of got lulled into their tempo of the game in the first half.
You mentioned the offensive rebounds. Not just the offensive rebounds, but tapping the ball out, not necessarily leading to offensive rebounds. What do you like about the effort tonight?
Yeah, we want to go, and we went tonight. I thought we did a great job of getting, on the offensive glass and really not surrendering a ton in defensive transition. We had a couple plays where, the ball was just faster than us up the floor, and they made us pay. But otherwise, we were able to crash the glass and still not sacrifice too much in transition.
24 was the most LA scored in any quarter tonight. You had to be pleased with the defense.
Yeah, really good. I thought great focus, great intensity, great physicality. We took on the individual challenges tonight. They play a really slow tempo. They play a lot of isolation. They just kind of overwhelm you with their personnel, and the force of their personnel. And we had our chest on them. We were good in our help. We were good in our rotations. And then when the ball came out, we won a lot of closeouts and made it difficult for them to capitalize. And so the guys exerted great effort on that end of the floor.
Hey, Coach, this morning you talked about, earlier before the game started, you talked about SGA's ability to control his emotions. What are your thoughts on the way his way to keep his ability to keep his emotions under control during tough situations?
Yeah, he's got an unbelievable temperament. Like I said before, for an NBA season, everybody wants to win. Every game is competitive. The games are emotional. There's a lot of runs. There's a lot of ups and downs. Guys are exerting unbelievable physical, mental, emotional energy. And emotions can boil over because of that. And he just has an unbelievable steadiness to him that has a contagious effect on our team. And I thought his poise tonight and the team's poise tonight, in the ups and downs of what was a difficult game, was impressive.
You talked about guys in the past who have, in your words, seen all the pictures usually vets, obviously, but for Shai, he's in year 7. I guess how distant do you think that time is till he sees all the pictures? Do you think he's seen all the pictures already?
He's definitely seen them all at least, once, but he's still growing. He's still evolving. He's not a complete player. One of the best qualities he has, and the reason he's improved so steadily over time, is that he doesn't view himself as a complete player. He views himself as a work in progress always, and that's why he gets better. He's got unbelievable humility and looks in the mirror and improves. And there's things he can still improve on. I mean, he's not a finished product. He doesn't see himself like that, and that's exciting. That he's obviously a great player, but that he's got some runway to continue to improve.
What does improvement look like for him, given just how special he is?
Yeah, it's nuanced at this point. I mean, he's not going to make the big jumps that like a younger player early in their career would make, but you see the 3-point gravity. I think the blend of attacking and moving it early is a constant struggle for any player as good as him. I think you see that around the league with all these guys that have great talent. He can continue to improve as a defensive player. And the best thing about him is I can come up here and say that about him with full confidence that he believes the same thing because he works like it and he acts like it. And that's a great testament to, like I said, his humility, his drive. And it has an unbelievable effect on our environment, our locker room.
Anybody else? Go ahead, Daniel. Last one.
Point differential. You guys trying to score at the end. Is that weird to you? Like trying to, because it might come back to matter if things shouldn't have that way.
That wasn't my idea. I mean, the bench, those guys were losing their minds, and all of a sudden we bombed a 3 with 5 seconds left in an 8-point game. I'm still getting used to it. It wasn't, we did not talk about that. So that was from the locker room decision.